In 2008, Taylor Lautner rose to prominence as the werewolf Jacob Black, one-third of the supernatural love triangle in the film adaptation of the vampire novel Twilight. Looking for the perfect birthday cake alternative? We get it, sometimes you just have to think outside the bakery box. That's why we've found 28 show-stopping birthday desserts that are sure to satisfy any sweet tooth. From ice cream to cookies, scroll down to get inspired. Birthday charcuterie boards. What's better than one dessert? A whole bunch of desserts, on one giant platter. By the time the final Twilight film was released in 2012, it looked like Lautner was destined for even greater success in the future. Whether it's a cocoa-themed spread or you want to go full-on birthday-themed, the hottest new trend in food is taking over the party, too. Birthday charcuterie boards are where it's at. Churros. Is there anything better than the cinnamon sugar goodness of a county fair churro? For those looking to recreate this particular magic at home, we present this recipe from peanut butter and peppers. After bringing Jacob to life on-screen, it seemed inevitable that Lautner would be able to transition from this role to playing more mature characters. Yet Lautner's early promise as an actor seems to have waned. Over the past few years, Twilight fans have wondered why Lautner hasn't found the same big-screen success as his co-stars Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. Lautner hasn't turned his back on Hollywood, he's been working hard to find his own way and choose roles that truly matter to him. Here's why Lautner's film career faltered in the years following Twilight, and why he might be poised for a major comeback. He wasn't known for his acting talents after appearing in the Twilight films. Taylor Lautner was known as much for his physique as he was for his acting abilities. The secret here is that the churros are baked, not fried, which means they have all the sweet, doughy crunch you expect, but you can skip the greasy frying. To get in shape to play Jacob, Lautner stuck with a strict diet and exercise routine, and his efforts undeniably paid off. For the whole scoop, click here. Mini brownie bowls. Because cones are so ordinary, right? Up the ice cream sundae bar game by opting for a super sweet bowl the gang can eat. These mini brownie bowls from Life Love Liz are perfect because you can serve them warm or cooled down, depending on how much time you have before you need them. Get the details on how she did it over at lifeloveliz.com. Unicorn sundaes. Why do unicorn cake when you can serve up unicorn-themed sundaes? The best part about this amazing treat from Dawn at Charcuterie is her low-cal version that still has all the whimsy and the taste. In 2010, Lautner ranked #1 on Access Hollywood's Top 5 Hollywood Abs list. Find out how she made them, and get a ton of other cute ideas here. Colorful macarons. These popular French cookies can be made in a variety of colors and flavors and have an extra festive birthday appeal, plus it's easy to portion control sugar intake for the younger kids. While they can be a bit challenging to make for the novice baker, Sally's Baking's Addiction has a step-by-step tutorial that just might help you win this whimsical dessert. But he became frustrated when he realized that moving forward, every director seemed to focus on his appearance rather than foster his talent. Lautner had a small role in the film Valentine's Day, and he pushed back against a scene that was specifically written for him to show off his abs. Originally I was supposed to take off my shirt, Lautner explained in an interview with GQ. The script said we were walking into school and Willie takes off his shirt. If you're not feeling up to it, patisseries across the country sell these delectables. I said, whoa, time out. You can also order up a batch from Macaron, where you'll also find gluten-free varieties. He's gonna take off his shirt in the middle of school. No. They ship across the U.S. Brownie Pops brownies go sophisticated with this fun recipe from the Cookful. The reason I took off my shirt for New Moon is because it's written in the book that way. And there's reasons behind it. Lautner wanted to be seen as more than a pretty face, but it was tough to get past his public image. He was defined by Twilight. Taylor Lautner had been working in Hollywood for several years before landing the role of Jacob in Twilight, but there's no doubt that this was the role that brought him fame. The final installment in the Twilight franchise was released in 2012, but for better or for worse, he's never really moved past it. As recently as 2015, Lautner was still publicly struggling to decide what his next career move would be. Just whip up a batch using your favorite recipe or a boxed mix and dip them into a simple ganache to up the fancy factor. To see the full recipe, click here. And for more desserts on a stick, click here. Baked birthday donuts. Do not be surprised if these funfetti-filled donuts become a new birthday tradition. They're simple to make and super colorful. It's not easy to move out of the shadow of a hit like Twilight, one agent commented in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. They're also perfect for a crowd. But he's still very young. Don't forget the glaze. Get the recipe from If You Give a Blonde a Kitchen. Cheesecake flan. Are you a fan of flan? How about the creamy goodness of cheesecake? You can have 'em both with this recipe from A Little Yumminess. There's time for Taylor to become more than just Jacob. While he has landed television roles since then, he hasn't secured a role in a major film, and he certainly hasn't taken on any projects that brought him the same level of publicity as Twilight. Today, Lautner is still best known for playing Jacob Black, a role that has defined his career for over a decade. Did he ask for too much money? In 2010, Taylor Lautner was one of the most expensive teen stars in Hollywood. Granted, the popularity of Twilight basically guaranteed that he would need a serious paycheck to sign on to future films. It's more firm than flan and lighter than cheesecake, perfect for a birthday cake alternative that's a little outside the box. Click here for the how-to. Sprinkle sugar cookies. We dare you to find a more cheerful cookie than these sugar masterpieces from The View from Great Island. But compared to similar actors, Lautner was asking for a very high salary, despite the fact that he had never opened a film before. When he signed on to the film Stretch Armstrong, his contract reportedly included a $7.5 million salary. They're perfectly festive for any birthday soiree, and a cinch to whip up. Use a whole assortment of sprinkles or customize the colors for your tot. For the instructions, head here. Party cannoli. It's easy to add cannoli to your birthday party lineup with this genius idea from Hungry Gems. Picture it: smooth ricotta, vanilla paste speckles, and fluffy sugar. At the time, this was likely more than Robert Pattinson was earning for his starring roles in films like Remember Me. Lautner might have felt like he could command that kind of price while Twilight was an inescapable cultural phenomenon. Don't forget the colorful sprinkles for that extra special touch. Get inspired to make your own here. Nutella whoopie pie. When a dessert has whoopie right in the title, you know it's a reason to celebrate. But as he failed to deliver at the box office, directors became skeptical that this high price tag was worth it. These delish sandwich creations have a hint of orange, a whole lot of Nutella, and are just the thing to amp up a birthday party. There was no doubt that he had great potential, but potential wasn't enough for that kind of paycheck. Adaptation received poor reviews in 2011. Taylor Lautner was aiming to lead a blockbuster that would open up new opportunities for him after Twilight. He starred in the action film Abduction as Nathan Harper, who was secretly given away to adoptive parents because his biological parents were trying to uncover corruption within the CIA. They also make great gifts. Score the recipe by clicking here. Watermelon split. This may sound bananas, but hear us out. Watermelon splits just might be your new favorite split. They're simple to make and perfect for summer birthday parties. Add some blackberries for extra flavor and you'll wow every party guest. Snag this recipe for yourself by clicking here. Strawberry and sprinkles pancakes. Give your usual birthday dessert a flip with this sweet idea from Avery Cook's Pancakes. These phenomenal flapjacks are bursting with sprinkles, topped with strawberries, and the perfect way to begin or end a birthday. Still a teenager in the film, he's driven to uncover the truth of what happened to his family. Grab the instructions here. Ice cream tacos. Who says tacos have to be savory? These festive dessert tacos are totally on trend for a 2018 birthday and easier than cupcakes. Unfortunately, Abduction did not premiere to positive reviews, and it didn't launch an exciting new phase of Lautner's career. Abduction is a crass and lowbrow attempt to cash in on a young actor's heat, an exploitation picture where the person being taken advantage of is too young to notice, critic René Rodriguez wrote in a review for the Salt Lake Tribune. Other critics also felt that the film was basically an attempt to profit from Lautner's fame before the hype around Twilight died down, with critic Stephen Holden calling Abduction a sloppy, exploitative act of star worship created around Lautner. His films have been panned by critics. While Abduction was a misstep for Taylor Lautner's career, he could always make a comeback with better films. Check out how A Subtle Revelry puts them together, and if you're looking for more dessert taco ideas, we've got them right here. Strawberry Rice Krispie Pops. We love these adorable pops from Tasty, and not just because they look like something that belongs in a cotton candy castle. However, this comeback has never really materialized. They're just as easy to whip up as your run-of-the-mill Rice Krispie treats, and the little ones are sure to gobble them up. Get the scoop by clicking here. S'mores muffin tin ice cream cakes. These mini ice cream cakes from Blender Happy may look complicated, but they're actually pretty easy to pull off. In 2015, he starred in the film Tracers, and while the parkour sequences in this action movie were certainly entertaining, he still failed to impress critics who felt that he hadn't broken free of his image. With a graham cracker crust, some hidden mini marshmallows and a banana-based ice cream topping, they'll be an instant favorite with your crew. Hollywood's lunkiest werewolf is still stuck making movies where his big stage direction is. He slowly peels off his t-shirt, Stephen Whitty wrote in a review for New York Daily News. His foray into comedy with a role in The Ridiculous Six fell flat, too. The Adam Sandler flick earned a dismal 0% rating from critics on Rotten Tomatoes. It's a lazy pastiche of westerns and western spoofs, replete with lazy, racist jokes that can't just be waved away with a waft of the irony card. Woeful, Brad Newsome commented in a review for Sydney Morning Herald. His passion project flopped in 2016. Taylor Lautner starred in the indie film Run the Tide. To grab the recipe, click here. Ice cream cupcakes. These may look like boardwalk-style chocolate-dipped cones, but don't be fooled, they're cupcakes. The Flair Exchange shows how to bake the cupcakes right into the ice cream cones, and dip them a chocolate shell topping. For step-by-step instructions, click here. Piña colada on a stick. Keep things light with this fun, virgin twist on the piña colada by first look, then cook. He played Raymond, who cares for his younger brother Oliver while their mother is in prison. But when she is released, he runs away with his brother to the California coast, hoping to protect Oliver from her abuse. Strawberries and pineapple are paired with coconut gelatin squares for a combination that will send you straight to the islands. Click here to snag the recipe. Banana split ice cream pie in a jar around my family table's great idea combines all the best parts of a banana split into a cute mason jar, making it the perfect individual treat for kids. Layer up graham cracker crumbs, different types of ice cream, and fruit toppings for a dessert that really rocks. He referred to the movie as a passion project for everyone involved, and he was clearly enthusiastic about taking on a role that was very different from anything he had done before. In fact, he said that he wanted to push back against his heartthrob status. But unfortunately, he still hadn't managed to please the critics. Lautner trots out another sensitive character that he can't really do justice to, Roger Moore wrote in a review of Run the Tide for Movie Nation. To check out the full recipe, click here. Ice cream cake pops. We're obsessed with these yummy ice cream cake pops from Better Recipes, and they're actually easier to make than normal cake pops. Just scoop mini portions of ice cream, then roll them in your favorite cake flavors. He's a flat actor, never quite able to bring spark to his roles or make us forget how hard he has to try just to be this convincing in a part. Several of his films were shelved. The films that Taylor Lautner starred in during the years following Twilight didn't find success at the box office, but at least they made it to theaters. There were several other Lautner films that never even saw the light of day. For instance, he was slated to appear in the action film Northern Lights, but he decided to drop out when he was offered a major role in Stretch Armstrong. To get all the details, click here. Oreo ice cream sandwiches. Oreo lovers will go crazy for these ice cream sandwiches with a twist from frosting and a smile. You can customize the toppings based on taste or to match the party's theme. Either way, your guests will gobble them up. However, this choice didn't pan out how he had hoped. Stretch Armstrong was eventually shelved, and the project was abandoned. Click here to grab the recipe. Grilled donuts. If you've got a donut fan in your fam, they'll fall for this sweet treat from the merry thought. Paired with ice cream or fruity dips, they're an easy way to feed a crowd, too. Get the recipe by clicking here. Cookies and cream dessert pizza. Combine your kids' two favorite things, pizza and cookies, and you'll get this insanely delicious dessert from Amuse Your Bouch. This version is topped with marshmallow fluff, Oreos and chocolate, but you can get creative topping it with your favorite sweets and fruits. Click here to get the recipe. Balboa bars. These ice cream bars from Half-Baked Harvest are a step above your usual picks from the ice cream truck. He also signed on for a biblical film about the story of David and Goliath, but this project stalled out and never made it to the big screen either. Every actor suffers through his or her share of projects that don't pan out, but at this point in Lautner's career, those setbacks were particularly damaging. Customize them with Oreos, chocolate chips, sprinkles, nuts, the sky's the limit. He was just beginning to make a name for himself outside of the Twilight franchise, after all. When his shooting schedule started to fall apart, it was difficult to make up the lost opportunities, or reverse his rapidly dwindling momentum. He wanted to be pickier about his roles after working on Run the Tide. Taylor Lautner discussed how the experience had motivated him to be pickier about his future roles. They can be made ahead of time, or little chefs can get involved in topping their creations themselves. After all, this was a clear effort to shed his image from his Twilight days and reinvent himself as a different kind of actor. "I want to choose things that are different," he stated in an interview on Good Morning America. But it seems like Lautner's choices were rather limited for several years. If producers weren't confident that his films would do well at the box office or earn praise from critics, he wasn't going to be offered the kind of opportunities that would allow him to take his career in a new direction. Click here for all the details. Breakfast for Dessert. Chloe, a San Francisco-based French illustrator and mom to daughter Lula, started a trend in birthday cake alternatives when, for her daughter's first birthday, she served up Belgian waffles to her guests, instead. Making large batches of these treats is super simple with a waffle iron, and if you want to get creative, go for an unconventionally shaped waffle maker. Tiny pies. If you're not a star baker, you can still wow your guests by ordering a batch of adorable tiny pies. Made by a mother-daughter duo based in Austin, Texas, the pies are small enough to fit into the palm of your hand, and they can be shipped right to your door. To find out more, click here. Funfetti cake batter popsicles. For a birthday-appropriate twist on popsicles, try this clever idea from Unusually Lovely. It's super easy to whip up with the help of cake mix, rainbow sprinkles and heavy cream. Click here to get the recipe. Dirt dessert. This fun idea from Mushu Gen is perfect for an outdoor party. While he wanted to be choosy, he wasn't getting the same kind of offers that rolled in after Twilight made him a household name. He was caught between a rock and a hard place. He didn't want to accept roles that felt repetitive, but he didn't have the same kind of pull he used to. He preferred living outside of Hollywood. Taylor Lautner is a bit of a homebody. While he was working on the Twilight films, he continued living at home with his family outside of Los Angeles rather than buying his own house. Layer chocolate pudding, whipped cream and crushed chocolate cookies for dirt. That's sure to be delicious. To grab the recipe, click here. Peanut butter Oreo ice cream cake. Guests of all ages will be wowed by this impressive cake from Lauren's latest. It's actually pretty easy to throw together using Oreo cookies, chocolate ice cream and a seriously delicious peanut butter caramel sauce. When Lautner was asked about moving out of his family's home in an interview with GQ, he replied, "There's really no point. I'm so busy. I really haven't thought about it." He continued, "The thing I love is that my home life hasn't changed." Get the details on how to make it by clicking here. Fried ice cream. They love ice cream and French fries, so it's not too much of a stretch to say they'll probably go nuts for fried ice cream. I still help out with the garbage. Add a little fudge and whipped cream, and it's birthday dessert heaven. I still help out with the lawn. While he loved acting, he also loved his life at home, and even though his career was reaching new heights, he didn't want to place himself in the center of Hollywood and say goodbye to his family home. Eventually, Lautner did decide to embrace his independence and strike out on his own. For the easy how-to, head over to Overtime Cook. Circus Animal Truffle Bark. Turn your kid's favorite cookie into this colorful truffle bark from a bajillion recipes. This would also work perfectly as a take-home treat for goodie bags. More recently, he purchased an expansive mansion in Agora Hills, where he found several acres of land and plenty of privacy.
He's in a committed relationship. Taylor Lautner has dated several women in Hollywood. He's been linked to Taylor Swift, Olivia Holt, and more recently, his Scream Queens co-star Billie Lourd. But since 2018, Lautner has been happily settled down with his girlfriend Taylor Dome, who is not a celebrity. In 2018, Lautner posted a picture of the couple in their Halloween costumes on Instagram, and the two have continued to share adorable photos ever since. Dome is a nurse who likely met Lautner after becoming friends with his younger sister, and she doesn't spend her life in the spotlight. Click here to get the full recipe. Abigail Matsumoto, Aaron Lem, Susie Forsman and Amber Getabier. Related stories. Perhaps spending more time with his girlfriend has led Lautner to focus on life outside of Hollywood. After being in several relationships that were constantly scrutinized by the press, dating someone who doesn't work in the entertainment industry might be a relief. The couple has been together for years, and they certainly seem to be quite happy. He wasn't in We Can Be Heroes in 2005. Lautner co-starred as Sharkboy with Taylor Dooley in the superhero adventure film The Adventures of Sharkboy and Lavagirl in 3D. The film follows Max, a lonely young boy who invents an imaginary world to escape, only for this dream realm to come to life. Sharkboy and Lavagirl arrive at Max's school when they need his help saving their planet. In 2020, director Robert Rodriguez released the spin-off film We Can Be Heroes, which featured Dooley, but Lautner was surprisingly absent. Rodriguez explained that the idea of asking Lautner to commit time to such a small role just didn't sit right with him as a director. There wasn't a big enough role for him to do. It wasn't about those characters. He became such a big star after Twilight that he would have an expectation, Rodriguez explained in an interview with Decider. Could you imagine if he was in it, and then they see it and they're like, wait. His face is covered the whole time. Hey, he didn't have any dialogue. It'd certainly look like a demerit against him, and I wouldn't want that. He may have a future in TV. Although Taylor Lautner's film career has lost momentum in the years since Twilight, he might have a bright future in TV. In 2016, he joined the cast of Scream Queens as Dr. Cassidy Cascade, a zombie who decided to study medicine because he couldn't understand what he'd become. And in 2014, he took on an unexpected role in the British comedy Cuckoo. In Cuckoo, Lautner starred as Dale, a young, naive American who is searching for his father, the title character. Cuckoo, a carefree hippie, had gone missing in a climbing accident, but Dale crashes with his wife's family, hoping to find some sort of connection. Lautner established himself as a surprisingly skilled comedy actor in the role. Dale isn't funny because he's being played by the icon of Team Jacob. Dale's funny because Lautner dominates in the series, Kayla Cobb wrote in a review for Decider. Dale is a clueless American who has recently left a confusing cult, and his funniest moments stem from his bizarre balance of unrelenting optimism and cluelessness. Perhaps this role has opened up some doors for Lautner. He's kept in touch with his Cuckoo co-star Greg Davies, who spoke highly of his experience working with Lautner. Maybe Taylor Lautner's best work is yet to come.